In 2015, we undertook an analysis of the 3.2 million carcasses that were graded through the MSA program to really get an understanding of what's driving eating quality here in Australia, determine a baseline for our eating quality performance so we know where we are at this stage and how we can improve, and also identify the trends that are impacting on the compliance rates of carcasses in this country.
We have over 57 million pieces of information collected on those carcasses telling us about the eating quality of Australian cattle. Every single animal that met the MSA requirements of having the right meat colour, pH and fat coverage then received an MSA Index score. So that's 3 million animals with an MSA Index.
The MSA Index is a really critical feedback tool for producers. They can actually see the impact that they're making on farm on the eating quality outcomes of their animals.
If my cattle were producing average index scores of around 45, I'd be delivering carcasses where the majority of those carcasses are delivering an unsatisfactory eating quality as determined by the consumer. And about 40% of them would tick over into the good everyday eating quality level. But I'm only going to move my MSA Index by 5 points. And all of a sudden, I've just created more value in that carcass because most of the cube rolls in that carcass are what we call good everyday eating quality. Every single MSA registered producer can get into the My MSA system, and we have the last 5 years worth of grading data in there. So it doesn't matter if you haven't graded cattle this last 12 months. If you graded cattle 4 years ago, the information is sitting there for you, ready for you to go and have a look at it. So you can get information right now on all those measurements that are collected on those carcasses.
My MSA is available to every single one of our MSA registered producers. They can access their individual carcass feedback information, they can get information about their compliance, not just from one single time of carcass grading, but over time. So they themselves can actually determine trends in their own data and look at historical data and determine if there are certain times of the year that might be a bit problematic for them. And then they can start to implement things on farm and help them improve.
For the very first time, we've been able to quantify the impact of making some changes will have on the MSA Index. And so, like I said, there's lots of ingredients in the recipe of what makes up good eating quality, but now we can tell you, if you put a focus on marbling, or if you put a focus in your production at home on increasing carcass weight, we can now tell you what impact that will have on the MSA Index.
These eating quality forums have been a great launch pad for the eating quality audit report. It's the very first time that producers have been able to see this. I'm very excited to launch these at these eating quality forums, and it really gives us the opportunity to share our future plans for MSA with our MSA registered producers and get them engaged and excited about the new growth spurt for MSA.